Hello everybody, this is TipTop MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you kind of my concept for how you could make Magic the Gathering more fun. Now, of course, Magic the Gathering, there are so many different ways to play it, and whether something is fun or not is really up to you, but today what I'm going to be talking about is my concept for a new format. Now, Standard recently has been full of ultra high powered decks and cards. Now, what I'm about to propose today does not fix the problem with ultra powered cards, but does fix some of the problems with ultra powered decks. I'm proposing a standard mini of sorts. It would have a better name than standard mini, but the idea is that it's a standard with even less cards. Now, I know there are a lot of players out there who only play Eternal formats like Modern or Vintage, and they're like, wow, Standard already has such a small card pool, you want to make it even smaller? That doesn't make sense. Now, I'm going to go over a couple reasons why I think making the card pool smaller, then I'm going to talk about how they could do it, and then I might talk a little bit more about issues with current Standard and just overall a couple new things. So first, why would it be a good idea to reduce this card pool? Well, okay, let's say that we go into, when Core Set 2021 is released, there will be 8 sets legal and standard. That means that a lot of cards are going to synergize with a lot of cards, which is considered to be a good thing. But if you notice, a lot of the broken cards in the past, now not all of them, some of them like Winnow are just broken on their own, but a lot of them are only broken because of the environment they're in. If you remove a ton of cards, then there's less chance that you find some broken combo within things, and so it ultimately leads to a less powerful standard. I mean, if Guilds of Ravnica was still not in Standard, we would be not having Shocklands right now, and maybe that would make some of the higher, like, more colored decks harder to build because there's less dual land, and so, you know, there's just kind of this relationship. The more sets there are, the more likely that something that is printed runs into an issue where it's too powerful with another card. So by reducing the number of sets, you do reduce the chance of a broken standard. On top of that, I mean, it does mean that the format would shift more, which some people would say is good, some people would say is bad. And I'm going to talk about how it could happen. Say there's 2 rotations a year, then you're going to constantly just have this new fluctuation of decks, and it won't be Jeskai Fires for 7 standards. Like, you know, it will change more, and that is considered to be a good thing. It also means that you're more likely to be able to build what you want to build. If I wanted to go on to MTG Arena and play a Jumpstart deck, I probably couldn't. I mean, I might be able to play like a Phoenix deck, but my point is I can't just pick a theme and build it. You know, I'm going to end up losing because there are just so many powerful decks that have, like, the best of. On top of that, it might make sets sell better. For instance, when we go into Core Set 2021, that will be the last set legal and standard. So the core sets always are the 8th set in a standard. Any card that's printed needs to be the best version of it in standard. If they print a kill spell that's just slightly worse than Murderous Rider, well, then that card is dead. But if Murderous Rider was no longer in standard, which it would be in my concepts, it makes it a lot easier for new sets to have cards that change the meta because there are less of them, and the best of is less contested for. Instead of 8 sets worth of cards, you're only, like, the best of kill spell is only fighting between 4 sets of cards. Now, I think a lot of you probably already know why a smaller standard would be a good thing in terms of the health of the game, but how could this be done? And I mean, there are a couple simple ways. For instance, what if they did rotation, you know, so they normally do it with the fall set, so that'll be Zendikar Rising this year, it was Throne of Eldraine last year, but what if they also did it with the spring set? So that would be Ikoria this year and War of the Spark last year. So let's take this year. If in Ikoria, when we went to Ikoria, I don't know, you'd have to really think about it. So if we said 4, I mean, you could really do this as much as you want. Normal standard, the lowest sets it ever has is 4, and the highest it has is 8. Now, that is kind of cool, and I think there could be a time where they overlap, because I think it's very difficult to say, hey, this is how many sets are good to have in standard. I think 3 to like 6 might be better. You can cut out 2 sets there. And how you could do that is you could either have at rotation, it rotates out more sets. So at rotation, if it rotated out also, rotated out Throne of Eldraine and Theros. You would then end up with Ikoria, Core Set 2021, and Zendikar Rising, which is only 3 sets, which some people might say is too small of a standard. And, it depends. I think that the cards are diverse enough you could probably pull it off. And if this wasn't, I'm not saying this is where standard should go. I think there should be a sub-format. So I think that if people want a lower powered standard, I think that could be a very fun thing to do. Another option, again, would be to have with Ikoria. Let's say when Ikoria came out, you rotated out Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance. And then, when Zendikar came out, you rotate out War of the Spark and Core Set 2021, but then Standard Mini and Normal Standard would be combined. So then maybe that's how you do it. Maybe you just never have it reach 8. It just goes from like 4 to 6 sets, which might work better. I think 3 sets is probably a little small for Standard. So yeah, that's how I think I would do it. If I was Wizards of the Coast, I would say, hey, with our spring and fall sets, we will be rotating out 2 sets, which means that we will never hit 8 sets in Standard. But the minimum will still be 4, and there will be times where, there are my idea for Standard Mini and Standard overlap. And honestly, the whole rotating out 2 sets 2 times a year, I think that actually probably would work better, even just for normal Standard, and I think that could be pretty fun. But at this point, I'm kind of rambling. So let's get back on my main topic. Another way Standard Mini could be done is they could say, hey, Standard Mini is the last 4 sets. And every single set, you're kicking out another one. So with the release of Ikoria, you kick out War of the Spark. Then with the release of, or not War of the Spark, I think it'd be Ravnica. No, it would be War of the Spark. With the release of Core Set 2021, you kick out Core Set 2020. You could do something along those lines, and then you'd always have 4 sets legal and standard. But then again, that would cause massive meta shifts, and I don't know if that would really be that great for the game. But again, I think having more rotations per year is probably a good thing and would be interesting for a format, as it would be able to be different than Standard while still using the same card pools. And, you could then be having a new audience for Standard sets to sell to. So honestly, I think it'd be cool if they could do a Standard Mini sort of thing. I know this video ended up kind of being just a rambling of, how lower amounts of sets in Standard is good, and like how they could change rotation for just normal Standard. But honestly, I think that normal Standard can be good, just I would like a little bit less powered version of it for when I want to play my less powerful decks. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on this concept. I just kind of wanted to bring it up as an idea. If you guys enjoyed, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.